It's Creech, and I'm back. I will explain where I was at the end of this video. But today I have a very beginner-friendly guide to how to do hi-hat rolls as well as a number of other things to get you started making good hi-hat patterns in FL Studio. So first off, BPM is very important. Essentially, how many how many bars are in a minute or whatever. How fast it is. It don't. Yeah. 140 to 160, somewhere in there is like typical trap music, as I'm assuming most of the viewers of this video make trap beats. So anyway, fuck. First off, you put the sounds in the channel rack. Your channel rack might look like this. I never use the step sequencer. You can, but this tutorial is going to be using the piano roll. That way you can get them. It just gives you more. It's easier to change things with them. So anyway, if it's on the step sequencer, all you do is click these little three things here, stretch it back out, and then depending on how you have your windows set up, like when I first load into FL Studio, this is what I see. And then if you just click in this box here, you can get the piano roll up. All right. And so here is the quick part of this. And then I'm going to basically make a pattern. So here we have one bar. Within this bar, you have a lot of lines. That is called your grid. And this actually took me like a lot of time to figure out. So basically what you will have essentially, so as you can see, you have four sections here. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So in eighth note hi-hat, which is the typical like steady stream, is going to be this. If this is a fourth of it, have that as an eighth. And then Control B, I can copy all that over. So that's an eighth note. That is that is kind of the steady stream that is on beat, and that is typically used when you're not doing a roll. Now, how you do a roll? So if you, depending on what it's set up as, you can take it down to here. So now you can do a little stutter. Right? But if you want to go any further, here's the key. And this took me a very long time to figure out. This little magnet here, so this is called, as you can see over here, this is called your snap to grid. So if you click on that right now, it's on a step. I don't really know where FL Studio starts it on. I use step to get me started. And then you can do, if you go like a third or a sixth, I believe that's called a triplet or whatever. It gives a different kind of feel to it. I've used it a few times, but I usually just go to a half to a fourth. So if I go to a half step, whereas this was the smallest I could make it before, now I can make it even smaller, so I can get something like that. Sorry, let me get this better, whatever, something like that. But then if I want to make it even smaller, you just go 1/4 step, and now I can make it so you can get kind of like that zip effect. And then you can go to none, and then as basically the smallest you can go. You can zoom in. By the way, that's just right clicking on this little thing here and using the I have like a trackball mouse, but like going in and out with your mouse or whatever. And so if you go to none, because you can see there's still like little like clicking points, snapping points, but that is basically allows you to get it. So like right there is as small as you can get it. So yeah, you can do something like that, which sounds terrible. So yeah, that's the short version of how you do it. So now I'm going to actually start out by making a pattern. So what I'm going to do when I'm switching out here, so I'm going to take this since it's on none. What you want to do, stretch it to there, click on it, because once you, if you don't do that and you change it back to a step, what it's going to do is it's going to be slightly over because it's still moving a step, but the note was already there. So anyway, the first thing that I always like to do is I just put in, well, shit. Anyway, put in an eighth note. I did a 2-bar pattern here. Just put in an eighth note hi-hat. So now we have that. Right, and let's say one thing I like to do is just on the snare, we're going to have a little roll here. So I'm going to go change my grid. Let's say to, I do it, yeah, to a half step. And then we do that. So now we have, and then let's see, over here, make like a little one that's a little faster. So maybe something like that, and then click, drag it out to the half step, so that I can then make it a full note, and then I get this, and then next thing that I want to do is so I'm gonna go on the snare here. And one of the great things about FL Studio that makes it like you can't really do this in any other DAW except for like LMMS, is that for with when you're working with drum sounds, right? Everything in here, this is the sampler. So, and as you can see here, you're at C5. That is going to be not the normal pitch, but the pitch that the sample is at. And so if I want to pitch down this hi-hat, which is something you've heard before, if this seems a little weird, you've definitely heard it in a song, and it creates a really neat effect. So all you have to do in FL Studio is just place the note lower and lower, and then you'll get something like this. And then same thing works. You can go let's just say over here I want to go higher, which sounds not as cool, but you can do it. So that's kind of it for this main section here of I'm not going to go over everything in the piano roll. I actually do plan on making a video on that though. But the one more thing, a couple more things I want to touch is basically I don't really know what this box is called. I guess the control box or whatever. I don't. But as you can see here, it's kind of grayed out, but it says velocity. That just means how hard the note hits. And also you can see if you look up here, when I put the thing over there, it'll tell me how, you can see if I'm moving my mouse, it'll tell me how high it is. My fucking voice cracked there. So let's say I want, for this roll, all you do, click and hold, and then you can do that, and then it'll give you this, where it kind of fades out because the note isn't hitting as hard, therefore as loud. It's technically not just a volume thing. So that's that. You can you can kind of do stuff like this or whatever. And then so I use that some. So clicking on control, you can get all these options. So if we go to pan, right, so this is going to be panning left and right. As you can see, this top one here, if you're looking up, always be looking up here if you don't know, in this top left corner, if you don't know what something is, and it will tell you. So if I go on this side, the top side is right, and I can see that in that corner. So let me zoom in here, and on this little roll, let's see, I'm gonna make kind of alternate that. I'm gonna go 50% right, 50% left, 50% right, 50% left, 50% right. And then we'll play that. And if you had headphones on, or some sort of thing that gives you two sides, you can hear that panning. If you're watching on your phone, you won't be able to tell. But note release, I actually don't know what the fuck that does. And you know, for this, so pitch, you can change the pitch, or you can just do it in the fucking piano roll. So with these, you can, so this is going to be, you know, I don't really know why you would use this over the note thing, but it's basically, yeah, channel panning. It's going to pan the entire channel. I don't really know what the fuck the difference is. And then you can also access that, so there's channel volume, channel panning, and then channel pitch also, which you can, all those you can get to right here. So if you want to change like the pitch of, so if I want to like actually pitch this down, I think I have to change the range. Also, the kind of the best way to do that, I think, is just you do that. But and once again, I'll right click on it and reset. I'm gonna make a full video on how to use like the sampler and stuff. So anyway, put together like just a simple drum thing here. As you can hear with me, it kind of sucks ass because I was just trying to show you different stuff. Oh yeah, one last thing. This is like really important to know, I think, because you can use it a lot. So let's say I want to automate, so I want to create a clip that will allow me to basically draw a chart of how I want it to move, whatever that be. So let's say velocity or whatever. And so all you gotta do is just touch it. So that becomes your last tweaked. That'll be important in a second. And then let me just put this into, because you can only use automation clips in the playlist. And then I'm gonna go to options, tools, my bad. Go to last tweaked, and then create automation clip. And so as you can see here, I think we're on fucking velocity. I don't know why it's a snare, but if I do like that, and then you go song mode. Well, I don't know what I'm automating there, but that is essentially how you create automation clips for this shit. But yeah, here's how the final drum beat sounds. And so yeah, that's pretty much that. This is kind of a shit video, but I'm not feeling good. So I don't know. I got a new job or whatever. I was kind of tired and shit. I mean, we're not cussing on this channel anymore. My bad. So I took like a couple of days, I think, and then my cousins came over for like 3 nights, which wouldn't be that weird, except, you know, I haven't seen them in over 10 years, and before then I've only seen them like 2 times. So it was kind of weird, and I wasn't about to like make a video while they were here, so my bad. But yeah, now I should be on normal uploading schedule. Yeah, thanks for watching. I hope this tutorial was helpful or whatever.